Recording in progress.
Ni'n barod i fynd, os gawn ni sganio, os gwelwch yn dda.
Ocê, bore da bawb, na ddechrau fod
So good
datganiad.
morning. I'll start with the declaration that the meeting is live streamed and will be available online later on today. If you're not happy with this, please leave the meeting. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much and a warm welcome to you here. Are there any apologies? No. Does anybody have any apology? No? Declarations of interest? No declarations of interest. We'll move on to the minutes. Can I propose that they're accurate? Will anyone second that, please? Everyone agreed, thank you. Any matters arising?
On page 8, item 3, it's resolved to defer to the next Planning and Access Committee. I didn't see it in the papers and I wondered if there was an update on when that might be coming back.
Okay, it's been in order. Yeah. Ma'r cais.
My understanding is that the application for the mast has been pulled back by the applicant. We don't know if they're going to present another alternative application. We don't know. Anyone else? Anything to raise? Okay, we'll move on to the applications. First one is Glan Conwy Better Secoid, an external bidding at Craig Glan Conwy. If I could come in on this one, please, Chair. A matter has arisen here, so I would ask kindly that we could adjourn the decision until the next meeting. The reason for that, because you've seen from the report, the main reason for rejecting this application is the structural condition of the building. The authority have done a structural survey in relation to this application, but it wasn't passed on to the applicant. So it's the first time the applicant saw this was when he read the report, and he would have preferred to have an opportunity to respond. And I think that's fair enough. I think he should have received a copy of the report and an opportunity to respond. It's not a statutory requirement, but I think it's good practice. Consequently, and out of fairness, and I've spoken to the agent, I would kindly ask the committee to adjourn this matter until the next committee meeting. Thank you. Will anyone propose that? Everyone agreed? Thank you. That's adjourned. We'll move on to the second application. So the Aberdyfi Visitor Centre. Before we start on this one, could I first of all introduce our new officer? We have David Jones here. David is senior planner that's new to the team, so warm welcome, David, to the meeting. Thank you. Thank you. Warm welcome, David. This application is presented to the committee because Eryri National Park are the applicants and they also own the building. That is the subject of the application, so it can't be dealt with by the delegated powers. The building concerned is highlighted in red on the plan and located. Sorry, I can't hear very well.
Is the microphone on? The interpreter's struggling to hear.
No, it's a matter of hearing, not, it's just louder, please.
Loud.
This picture demonstrates how it looks from the north, facing the Devi Terrace. Next picture shows the back of the building that faces the south, or the harbour. The next slide shows the plan, the proposed plan, and there are a number of elements to this plan. As part of the proposals, the wooden doors will be changed to aluminium doors, and the can I break in? There are two members who can't come into the meeting, Ivor and Louise. There's a message that they can't come in, that they can't get into the meeting. Is it possible to look at that first of all? IT is on the case. Louise and Ivor. We're trying to sort it. Do you want us to pause to see if they can join? And I'll restart the presentation once they've joined, shall I? Yes, fine. We'll keep the recording on for now. Otherwise, I think we'll cause difficulties. Okay, we'll wait. I'll switch off the mic here.
Methu clywed dim byd yma.
I can't hear anything. Ah, Ivor is in now.
A ni'n cael yr un traffer trio cael ei fewn eto. Dyna mo. Mae Outlook ma'n paffio.
Outlook doesn't like Zoom, apparently. Can you hear now? We'll wait for Louise and then we'll restart.
Oes 'na ryw gysylltiad efo Louise?
Helo bawb, mae Louise Ifor di'n ymuno fan ni, os da ni'n barod i ail gychwyn.
Louise and Ivar have joined, so we're ready to start again. Okay, Dafydd, from the start, if you will. So I'll make a start again. This application is presented to the committee because the National Park own the building and are the applicants, so the application cannot be dealt with under the delegated powers, so it has to come to committee. The building subject to the application is outlined in red on the plan in front of you. It's located in a commercial area in Aberdyfi and a conservation area. The first picture shows the view from the front of the building from Aberdyfi Terrace. The second picture is from the back that faces the harbour. The next slide shows the proposals, and it's part of the application that wooden doors currently in place on the second side will be changed to aluminium doors, and the water pipes and so on will be changed as well. There will be ramps into automatic doors to facilitate access, and as part of the proposal, there will be 2 notice boards that will face the street. One of these will be digital or interactive. And the final part is the 12 solar panels that face the harbour. So moving on to the assessment. The principle aligns with the policy aims for preservation areas, and we also need to assess whether or not it keeps and improves, and we are of the opinion that it does do so, and the recommendation is therefore to permit in accordance with the conditions as outlined in the report. The second condition will need to be amended because we have received a plan that confirms the colours that will be used in the development, so there will be minor amendments to that. Thank you very much. Will anyone propose that or agree? Recommended? I can't see the room. Is that recommended? Yes. There is a proposal. And a hand up, Edgar? Edgar proposes as well. Is it possible to get rid of the recommendation from the screen? There is a proposal that is seconded. Those in favour, please show. That's unanimous, thank you. Are there any hands up? I have a question, please. Naomi.
Sorry. Just a question.
I just wanted to clarify about energy efficiency.
And as part of the application, has there been any attempt made to consider retrofit of the building to enhance its energy efficiency?
Dwi'n gallu cadarnhau be di EPC.
I can't confirm what the EPC of the building is, but what I could confirm is that the 12 solar panels will produce 6.5 kilowatts of energy. And the purpose is in accordance with our policies as set out and to promote sustainable development, but the detail, that detail isn't available.
Yes, I was thinking about the insulation rather than the energy generation values of the building. Because I think in terms of a position of when applications are being made to alter or extend or change buildings, that as a sustainability principle, it would be very important to look at whether there are insulation or is insulation that could be done in order to improve the energy efficiency of those buildings as a good practice.
Mae rhaid delio efo'r bwriad sydd o'n blaen ni.
We have to deal with the application that is before us, which is just the 12 solar panels. There's no intention to insulate at all. It's not a matter that's before us today. Okay, thank you. Brian?
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I had a question with relation to item 3 on the conditions where we're going to get the full specification. And bearing in mind that the building is facing, as I understand it, the panels will be on the face that is going to be overlooked by the terrace, the other side of the road. Do we have any information to show that there's not going to be inappropriate reflection for those residents? Because it would be difficult for us if we've approved it, not considered the implications of reflection, and then we start getting complaints from residents.
Iawn, diolch Brian. I'r swyddog am wedi fewn.
Thank you, Brian. Does the officer want to come in? The panels have been located on the south-facing side of the building that faces the harbour.
Oh, right. Sorry, my misunderstanding. Yeah.
Ifor? The panels are a part of the grant, I'm assuming? So the insulation is set with them? That's the question. I can't confirm that. It's just the application in front of us that we have to deal with, and we have to consider that in relation to its planning merits alone. Yes, producing energy is one thing, but keeping the EPC low, as Naomi said, is important as well. Does anybody else want to contribute? I can't see any hands. There is a proposal on second. Does that still stand? There is a proposal that it goes in accordance with the recommendation, and a seconder has been. Those who are in favour, please show of hands. Great. Bear with me, I can't see everyone.
Okay, we'll go on to the next one then, which is Plas Isaf in Dolgellau. Thank you, Chair. If I can come in on this, a bit of a jinx on the committee today, because we had a fairly innocuous inquiry about this application, and we went into the file in detail on the listed building side, and there's some uncertainty at the moment amongst officers and the listed staff about the building. If you look at page 43 on the plan, you can see that Plas Isaf is next to the Golden Lion. And it's not clear from the file whether it's just one whole listed building or there are two listed buildings there. It should be fairly straightforward to find out. Maybe we need to look at hard copies and have a chat with Cadw to confirm. But because we only found this out more or less by accident last night, we haven't had a chance to confirm that by this morning's committee. So we've spoken to the applicant, he understands the situation. And if I can ask you then, the first one is planning permission, and item 4.4 is listed building permission. So I wouldn't want you to discuss this without being sure about the status of the building. It's nobody's fault really, it's just the way it's been set out, and we need to go into it further and possibly talk with Cadw. Hopefully we'll be able to turn it around quite quickly. So I'm asking you once again, if we cannot discuss 4.3 and 4.4 today until we get this information. Thank you. Can we have a proposer? Thank you. And second, anybody want to comment? Okay, thank you. It's not a systemic problem with the database for listed buildings. It's just a unique case, really. Thank you. We'll go on then to Plas Tanabwlch Maen Twrog. Thank you. I'll be presenting this on behalf of the Conservation Officer, the Acting Conservation Officer who's done the assessment, but I'll be presenting the report.
Sorry. Dwi'n meddwl bod fi angen cadarnhau yn union lle mae Plas
I
Tanabwlch.
don't think I need to tell you where Plas Tanabwlch is. You should be all, most of us are sitting there. But this application is to do with listed building consent for repairs to do work on the buttress and parapet structures on the main property, and then repairs on the rainwater outlets. So these pictures are examples of the parapet that needs to be repaired. If you can see, there's some detail on the plan showing exactly what the extent of the work that's needed is on the actual parapet. This application is to do with the need to find a sustainable solution to deal with the walls and the parapets and have more durable stonework. The worst affected areas are on the east-facing elevation, and unfortunately, the stone that was there originally on the walls and parapets has been too weak and insubstantial for the task in hand. There's also work on the catch pits. So these two photos are examples of where these catch pits are located on the building, and there's additional photos in the report as well. So unfortunately, the old ones aren't big enough to accommodate the increased rainfall. So two options have been put forward, and the authority is happy to move forward with option one. So from now on, the gargoyles will just be a decorative feature rather than a practical one. I don't know if you can see in the photo on the right-hand side, there's an example of a gargoyle there. So these are the plans for option one, which is the favoured option. If you can see the right-hand side at the top, these new hoppers will be put to one side of the gargoyles without using the gargoyle itself. So with regards to the parapet, we intend to use Forest of Dean sandstone for the repair work. And that is for the, and we hope that this is acceptable because it's very near to the colour of the stones that were used for the window decorations on the main elevation. Also, the specification for the lower parapet leads will be improved as well, and with more catch pits being put there where necessary, as well as repairing the parapet gutters. The stone masonry buttress to the side of the building will be repaired also. And we'll be doing this by employing minimally intrusive modern repair methods, plus traditional methods, and we consider that this is acceptable. So the works will assist with the ongoing conservation work for the building, with the proposed items integral to maintaining the building in a state of good repair. The works are also urgently required to prevent the structure from becoming unsafe. If you've seen the scaffolding outside, quite a lot of work needs to be done urgently, and to ensure that Plas Llanfairpwll continues and to contribute to the life, culture and vitality of the national park. So the recommendation is to grant listed building consent, subject to the following conditions in the report. If I can come in quickly there. This recommendation will be referred to Cadw because it's a listed building, so they've got the final decision. So it's a recommendation to refer this to Cadw, really. So we recommend what's down here, but Cadw will have the final say. Thank you for that. Two people want to speak. I just want to support what's been said. I think this is a sensible way forward to adapt what we've got here and change the stone that's not fit for purpose anymore. I've seen pieces of it and it's notwithstanding the weather. And there's been a problem over the years with the water pipes to be able to take the amount of rainfall we have. More rain now, and I think this is a very good adaptation. And I think we should accept the report as it is. Thank you. Tim has proposed then. Seconder, please.
Yeah.
Ifor, happy to push this forward to Cadw because those tops are dangerous. It's not the best rock. It's shale. And every year it gets wet and freezes and erodes. So very happy to support this. Thank you. Anybody else? I take it that Cadw is aware of this? No, with these type of applications, we make the recommendation and then we pass it on to Cadw. This is our chance to do a full assessment. Is that something about costs? I think. No, timescale. They've got targets and they usually come back within 2 or 3 weeks.
I just wanted to support this. The building needs to be kept in good state, and with members of the public still about, we need to protect that.
Iawn, diolch yn fawr iawn.
Thank you.
Sa rhywun arall yn dweud rhywbeth?
Anybody else? Can you all show if you're in favour then, please? So that's the planning. We go on then to the Section 106 agreements.
Tudalen 71.
Page 71.
72.
72.
Testyn cytundeb adran 46 sydd wedi cwblhau.
And these are the ones that have been completed.
Cwestiwn gen rywun yn fan'na?
Any questions?
Nad oes, awn ni ymlaen i ceisiadau.
If not, we'll go on to outstanding applications then. For information,
74.
page 74,
75.
75.
Yes, Chair, on 75. Number NP5 58629 at Dyffryn Ardwy. I notice it's been on the list since 2020. That's been there 4 years. And it does include outline permission for 2 affordable dwellings. Do we know why this is still in limbo land, whether the applicant is still going to bring it forward? If not, is there anything we can do to encourage that, bearing in mind that we have difficulty getting affordable housing built?
Iawn, diolch yn fawr.
Rhaid siarad efo swyddog achos ar hwn.
I'd have to talk to the officer about this to have an update and come back to you. Maybe for the next meeting of the committee then. Louise.
Am I on? Oh, I'm there. So it's the third one down on page 74, Sun Beach Holiday Park, Llangwrel. This is quite a controversial application, actually. It's been discussed at length at the Community Council, who are unanimously opposed to it. So how do I bring it forward as, because I'm still getting, comfortable with my role on the National Park Planning Committee. How do I bring it forward as the local councillor to committee? Am I permitted to do that?
Yeah, efo'r cynllun dirprwyo y parc.
Yes, with the deputised powers, you can all apply to the committee, but the expectation is that this will happen within the consultation period and that there are valid planning reasons. I think the consultation period has passed now.
So who would I know that the Community Council have passed their feelings on. Which officer is dealing with this application, please?
Well, I'm the case officer for this. This is a major planning application. So this will come to committee for decision when it's ready.
And will I be able to speak as local member?
If I can come in here. We had a session yesterday. One of the things that came up in the training session was that there's no such thing as a local member for the Park Authority.
All right. Okay. Sorry, I missed that yesterday. I was run off my feet. Oh.
Thank you. Page 75. The old Tabernacle Chapel in Harlech. This is nearly 3 years now. And I keep having people asking me what's happening to the place. All kinds of rumours going around the town. And to be honest, the site outside, it's looking very, very untidy. And when you think that it's in the conservation area, it detracts from the area. And I've spoken to the applicant, and they keep saying, waiting for an officer from the park to come back. And they never come back, and he's fed up now. And other people saying, oh no, it's been given permission. So I really don't know what's happening there. So I'd like to have some confirmation of the latest situation, please. Well, the case officer has written a report on this, and we'll need a section 106 agreement to make sure that some of the properties will be affordable. So it's gone on to the legal section now to put 106 agreement forward. For something that's been going on, I missed the name for a long time. Fourth, I think. Again, I'll ask the case officer for confirmation. Just back to page 74. Garreg Frech, Llanbrosden, 8 houses. This has been ongoing since November. We're waiting for ecological information. It seems to be slow now. And is this allocated land or? Well, with the ecological side, from what I understand, we're waiting for a habitat regulation assessment. Our ecologist has been away sick for a long time, so we've had to have external help to complete this HRA. I understand that they've asked for additional information. So I think that's ongoing now. I was thinking if it's allocated land or something else, we'll have to look at the detail there. Yes, it has been allocated as a building land.
Yes,
it's been allocated as building land and it's an application by ADRA. There's a matter of access as well, and we need to have more details about that. It would be nice to see these progressing now, wouldn't it? Page 75. Seventy-six. 77. 78. Fourth down. Trawsfynydd, land for a mast. Where is it exactly?
Dwi'n gwybod wedyn ni basiwr manylion ymlaen hefyd. Mae'n gael y swyddog achos i basiwr manylion ymlaen.
I'll ask the case officers to send details on. Anybody else? Louise.
Yeah, diolch Cadeirydd.
Thank you.
Top of the page, 77, Llanfendigaidd, Rhoslefain. Any update on that at all, please? Change of use of old mill into office and storage space.
The case officer is still in discussions.
Okay.
It's a listed building that needs a lot of work, so need to discuss the details on that.
Yeah, diolch.
If I can come in, when we say that we need more information, we will be reporting back formally to the next committee. It's important that the answers come back to the public as well. We'll go on then. Page 79 for information. Applications that have been approved. 79 and 80, 81, 82, 83. Then over the page, 84, applications that were refused. This is again for information. 86 and 87. If there's no questions, Plas Nana, is there anything happening there? I can't see anything on the list. We're waiting for financial assistance from Cadw. We haven't got the money to do it. A lot needs to be done to safeguard it from the weather, and we're dependent on grant funding. We've made inquiries, but we haven't been successful, so we're still trying. But it is going to deteriorate. And we need to have some kind of use for it as well. We can't just throw money at it. It's a huge sum that's needed. I don't want this to get lost and that we forget about it and then it has to be demolished. Yes, there's a compliance update coming to the committee. Anybody else? We've used. Wouldn't it be better if officers could phone people before the meeting? Yes, I was going to suggest that if you're not a case officer, we haven't got the details to hand. Don't stop asking. But if you could ask your questions beforehand, phone us or anything, then we can make sure that the information is here in the committee. Okay, so any questions that you want to ask in the committee, if you could give notice beforehand, there's nothing wrong with that. And you'll probably get the information sooner than in the actual committee rather than the next one.
John?
Yeah, you could start.
One other question. Lot of people asking about community councils. I thought that they would bring their objections to this committee here. I think it's important to get this correct. What can a community council do? If a community council does not support an application, it should come to the planning committee here. Yes, since I've been here, and if there's a recommendation by the community council to support or otherwise, it does come to committee. If they just say that they oppose or support, they've got to hand in their planning reasons, valid planning considerations. I've got to emphasize as well, we don't usually set it in the delegated powers. We are few of the authorities that actually do that. Most people have got rid of that, so we appreciate the relationship with our community councils. There's two now that have gone different to what has been decided. So I think you need to keep that link. Cyngor Gwynedd does it. No, nothing's changed. They do come to the committee. we have lots of cases where they just say object or support and they don't give any planning considerations. I've also personally provided several training sessions for the community councils, and I think that's very important.
Iawn, diolch yn fawr iawn.
Thank you. If we're all happy, then we've come to the end of the planning. And now there's another committee following with a different link to this one.
Really?
I should have all had a new link now. So we'll take a break then and come back in 10 minutes. Thank you.
Is it
Yeah.